They said Eleanor Whitmore was losing her mind. That's what everyone whispered when she stood in the middle of her living room, pointing at the wall and shaking. I hear them, she said. Every night, from inside the wall, neighbors exchanged looks. The landlord sighed. Even her own son avoided her eyes. Eleanor was 71 years old, a widow, quiet, polite, the kind of woman people stopped noticing years ago, and now apparently the kind of woman people dismissed. But Eleanor wasn't crazy, and the night the wall finally opened, everyone would wish they had listened. If stories about hidden truths and shocking revelations interest you, make sure you stay until the end. And if you enjoy stories like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss what comes next. Eleanor had lived in that house for 32 years. She and her husband, Arthur, bought it when the neighborhood was still new, when laughter filled the streets and children rode bicycles until sunset. Arthur had been a meticulous man. He fixed things himself. He hated wasted space. He once joked that if walls could talk, they'd confess all the secrets of the world. After Arthur passed away, the house became too quiet. But recently, it wasn't quiet at all. It started with soft tapping, not from the door, not from the windows, from the wall behind the old bookshelf. Tap, pause, tap, tap. At first, Eleanor blamed the pipes. Old houses made noises. Everyone knew that. But then came the whispers. Low, muffled, almost impossible to understand, but unmistakably human. She pressed her ear against the wall one night, her heart pounding. Don't move it yet. She doesn't know. Eleanor stepped back, her hands trembling. The next morning, she called her son, Daniel. Danny, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. There's something wrong with the house. He sighed on the other end of the line. Mom, is this about the noises again? They're voices, she insisted. People are talking inside the wall. Silence. Then a gentle, careful tone. Mom, you've been alone for a long time. Maybe you should talk to someone. That hurt more than he knew. Daniel lived 3 states away. He visited once a year. He didn't hear the whispers. He didn't lie awake at night, listening to footsteps that didn't exist. Or did they? The landlord came the following week. He knocked, clipboard in hand, impatience already written on his face. Mrs. Whitmore, you reported sounds. Yes, Eleanor said. From that wall, behind the shelf. He knocked on it. Hard, hollow sound, nothing unusual. Ma'am, these houses are old. Wood expands. Pipes rattle. There's nothing inside your wall. But I heard... He smiled, tight and dismissive. You should rest. Stress can do strange things. That was when the rumors started. She's hearing things. She's not all there anymore. She's probably imagining it. Someone even suggested she shouldn't be living alone. Eleanor stopped inviting people over, but the sounds didn't stop. They got clearer. One night, she heard metal scrape against metal. Another night, something heavy slid, slowly behind the wall. And then she heard a word that made her blood run cold. Money. Eleanor barely slept after that. She began keeping a notebook, writing down times, sounds, words she could make out. Tuesday, 2:14 a.m., whispering, 2 voices, 1 male, 1 female. In Thursday, 1:47 a.m., thud. Like something being dropped. Sunday, 3:02 a.m. Move it before she notices. She showed the notebook to Daniel when he finally came to visit. He skimmed it, concern deepening into fear. Mom, he said gently, this isn't healthy. She felt something inside her crack. You think I'm crazy too, she said. He didn't answer. That night, Daniel stayed in the guest room. At 2:11 a.m., Eleanor woke to the tapping again. Tap, tap, scrape. She rushed to Daniel's door and shook him awake. Listen, she whispered. They stood in the dark, holding their breath. At first, nothing. Then, a faint sound, like a drawer opening. Daniel's eyes widened. There, Eleanor whispered. You hear it now. He pressed his ear to the wall. Silence, then a low murmur. Tomorrow night, Daniel stepped back, pale. Okay, he said. Okay. That's strange. For the first time, Eleanor felt hope. The next morning, Daniel called a contractor. The contractor laughed. Open the wall, he said. For what? Ghosts? But Daniel insisted, paid extra. They agreed to open a small section behind the bookshelf. Eleanor watched as the worker drilled into the drywall. Dust fell. The drill hit something solid, metal. The room went silent. That's not a stud, the contractor muttered. They widened the hole, and then they saw it. A steel panel, hidden behind the wall. The contractor frowned. This shouldn't be here. Daniel stared. What is it? The contractor tapped it. Hollow, thick, reinforced. A concealed compartment, he said slowly. Someone built this on purpose. Eleanor felt dizzy. Arthur. Her mind raced back decades. Her husband's obsession with space. His jokes about walls talking. But Arthur had been honest. Gentle. He wouldn't hide something like this, would he? The contractor tried to open the panel. It wouldn't budge. It's locked, he said. And not cheaply. That night, the whispers returned, but now they were panicked. Someone's been here. She knows. We have to move it. Eleanor called the police. They didn't come. Ma'am, the dispatcher said, tired. If there's no sign of forced entry, there's nothing we can do. The next night, Eleanor didn't sleep. At 1:58 a.m., she heard the back door creak. Footsteps. Real ones. She didn't scream. She hid in the hallway, clutching her phone. The footsteps stopped near the living room. A flashlight beam flickered. Then a voice. "We're running out of time." Eleanor stepped forward. "I know what's in the wall," she said. The flashlight snapped toward her. Two figures froze. A man and a woman, faces partially covered. "You shouldn't be here," the man said. "This is my house," Eleanor replied, her voice shaking but firm. "And you've been hiding something inside it." The woman laughed nervously. "She's just an old lady." Eleanor raised her phone. "And I've been recording everything." Sirens wailed in the distance. Daniel had called the police earlier that night, insisted, refused to hang up. The intruders ran, but they didn't get far. When the wall was fully opened the next morning, the truth spilled out. Stacks of cash, documents, false IDs, property deeds. Enough evidence to expose a fraud ring that had been using Eleanor S. house as a hiding place for years. The wall wasn't Arthur's doing. It had been built later, quietly, illegally, by people who thought no one would notice, no one except the woman they ignored. The story made the news. Elderly woman exposes criminal operation hidden in her own wall. The neighbors apologized. The landlord avoided her. Daniel cried. "I should have believed you," he said. Eleanor smiled, tired but proud. "They said I was crazy," she replied, "but the wall told the truth. If you made it this far, you already know. The most dangerous secrets are often hidden in plain sight. If this story kept you hooked, take a moment to like the video. It helps more than you think. And subscribe for more powerful stories where justice finds a way, even when no one is listening, because sometimes the walls really are talking.